Do you have a small account, but you still want to run the wheel strategy? Well, here are my favorite wheel strategy stocks for July 2025 that are all under 25 bucks. Yo, what is going on, premium chasers? I hope you are having a God blessed day today. Every single person that comments down below is going to get my 10 favorite ARK options strategy stocks. So if you want that full ebook, go ahead and drop a comment down below and do me a favor, right? Let's spread this message as wide as we can, right? It's completely for free. Hit that like button and that subscribe button. We talk about option selling every single day here. But guys, today we're talking about the 5 stocks and a couple bonuses I'm going to throw in at the end here for those of you that watch the whole thing, right? That are all under $25 that you can run the wheel strategy on in July. Now, first and foremost, we already know this market has been on an absolute tear recently. So listen, guys, it's slim pickings out here. We got to wait for our setups and watch what's happening before us. So first and foremost, we're going to quickly talk about SoFi. I talk a lot about SoFi on this channel. It is on my radar. I run the SoFi weeklies right now. I do live videos here on the channel talking about SoFi. SoFi is on a tear, obviously, and it is, right now at the top of the Bollinger Band, so not really a great setup for cash-secured puts. However, I am monitoring SoFi really daily because I'm doing weeklies on this. So I'm hoping we see a nice little bigger pullback on SoFi in July. Selfishly, I would love to get into some cash-secured puts, but keep an eye out because their earnings report, I believe, is on the 25th or 28th. One of those 2 days. SoFi's reporting earnings. I'm totally expecting they're going to absolutely crush it, but you just never know. How many times have we seen, guys, right, where a company has great earnings and the stock still plummets? It's ridiculous. So I am watching SoFi really heavily. It is, a big stock for me for the wheel strategy on, but I don't want to harp on it too much, all right? So let's get into the second one, and that is Kraft Heinz, trading just a little bit over $25. However, the cash secured puts are looking pretty solid for Kraft Heinz. If we head over to Robinhood to take a look at what kind of premiums we're actually able to collect on Kraft Heinz, you guys already know, I've mentioned this one, at least if you're inside OSS, a few times. I love Kraft Heinz. I love brands like this that have a wide portfolio of products. In my mind, in my simple man's brain, the way I like to look at it is like I'm kind of diversified within a stock, right? That's how I like to look at it. So I'm going to click sell put. I'm going to go 38 days out. Let's see what we get there, because I like to go 30 to 45 days out just to see what kind of premiums we're going to be getting. So right now we could see we collect $43 on the 25s. So 43 bucks. Let's go take a look at what that looks like in terms of our return. So 43 bucks, we're putting up $2,500 in collateral for a decent return. Just 1.72%, over a 38-day period. Isn't bad. Obviously Kraft Heinz was set up a lot nicer last week, when a lot of us were trading it, but it's still really below that Bollinger Band, still slightly oversold on the RSI, well below the 200 and 300-day moving averages. If you're a believer in the company, I am, right? I personally am. Obviously, go do your own research. Obviously, results vary, not financial advice. Do it on internet. Don't listen to me. But I really like Kraft Heinz. The more I've kind of dug into it, I think it's just getting absolutely beat up, kind of a falling knife right now. But you know what? In the kind of situation that we're in, stocks are just absolutely soaring all over the place right now. So I'm just personally, looking for kind of like the diamonds in the rough, if you want to call them. So Kraft Heinz, not insane premium returns, but it has that dividend. You guys already know about the ARK options, right? We're getting cash secured put premiums. We're getting cash secured put interest. We're doing cover call. We're collecting cover call premiums, we're collecting dividends, and then appreciation sale. Basically 5 sources of income in one option strategy that you can literally manage in like 30 minutes a week, if that. If you want to learn more about that, first link in the description. But let's get into the next one. It is a little bit more expensive. Relax. I just need to quickly tell you guys about Campbell's, because I am in Campbell's, as you guys know, for the live portfolio that I feature here on the channel daily. I still think Campbell's is still a great setup. Now, me not being a really smart person, right, like I said, right, I fat fingered because I moved over to Fidelity, everything over to Fidelity, or not everything, but testing Fidelity with the live portfolio. on the channel here. You guys know I got my $30 puts in for Campbell's. I can't wait till this month is over so I could just like get my collateral back. We'll see what happens here. Who knows? Maybe this thing will run up and I'll be able to close it out early. I mean, I only collected like $5 in premium, which is absolutely terrible because I fat fingered something stupid on Fidelity's app. I did a video on that already. But we're seeing a nice little, nice little run up. But still, this thing has just been. If I just look over the past 5 years, everything I invest in, I believe in long term for the most part. So Campbell's right here. I mean, just look at this chart. Just absolutely a falling knife right here. But I think it's a market overreaction. I do believe we'll get back closer to our 200 and 300 day moving averages of around $45, $46, especially for such a staple brand, across the board and all the brands that they actually own. I mean, go in your cupboard. If you don't have Campbell's products in there, what are you doing? I refuse to believe that. Next one is Intel. Okay, you guys know love-hate relationship with Intel. This one is really good though for quad option, and it's decent for ARC options, right? It has the dividend, but this thing, how much do you believe in it long term, right? That's the question that you have to ask yourself. How bullish are you on Intel? We're trading right in between the 200 and 300 day moving averages, almost just recently using them as kind of like really a support level of that 22 for the 200 day moving average of $22, setting up decent. The bands are really tight on this one, right? But let's go take a look at what kind of premiums Intel is currently offering. Again, I have a love-hate relationship with this company, guys. It's just insane what the emotional roller coaster that this company has put me through over the years. Let's go back. We'll just use our same expiration dates across the board. Premiums are actually really nice. This is actually kind of insane. I'm actually kind of shocked about these premiums. Look at the 21s. Let's open up these 21s. 32 delta, a little bit aggressive, but not not crazy. The 20.5 is also pretty good. 0.27 delta, that's personally my favorite sweet spot. Let's go take a look. So we're collecting 65, and all these calculators are free in our Facebook group. Guys, as you already know, click the link in the description of today's video. Join our free Facebook group. You'll be able to get all these templates and stuff for yourself to play around with. $65 on the 25. That's actually pretty solid. I actually do like that. I actually do like that a lot. Sorry, 2,500. Sorry, 2,050. There we go. Damn, that's actually kind of crazy. The premiums that we're actually collecting here on Intel is actually just dropped by $5. But obviously these premiums are constantly changing, guys. Results vary. You're gonna totally see a different premium when you actually go into your brokerage account. But that is an insane for Intel to see, for us to see a return like that on our collateral here. So setting up really nicely, right? If it was pulled back a little bit more, we would even be seeing a lot better, right? But these bands are really tight right now on Intel, and there's only so much you're going to be getting. And as always, whenever we're investing, we always want to make sure we're going into stocks that we believe in long term. Am I super bullish on Intel? I can't say that I am, but I think at the price it's currently at, where it's kind of ping pong between 19 and like 22, 23. Running it as like a beginner wheel strategy stock, a cheap wheel strategy stock, I think is pretty solid, right? Moving on to the next two, right? These are two honorable mentions that I'm pretty much always monitoring, right? Because I love running the wheel strategy on kind of like cheaper stocks when I'm kind of bored or I don't see a ton of opportunity in the markets. At least keeps me engaged in the markets a little bit, and that is Ford. Ford, again, towards the top of the Bollinger Band, not set up beautifully for cash secured puts, but it's a very kind of a tight Bollinger Band stock here, right? The entire Bollinger Band is in the $10 range. There's only so much you can do, guys, like in these kind of situations, right? You're basically playing right at the money on any of the setups that you're doing with like a Ford right now, right? So for example, if I just go back to that same expiration date, if we got it, yes we do, and you could see here, right? You could, they're not terrible, but like, for example, the 10.5s and the 10s, right? Let's go look at 10.5s. What kind of are delta? So 0.34, a little bit more aggressive. The 10s are 0.21, right? So, if you don't know what delta is, basically, it's a probability of assignment. That's the way I like to look at it. I know it's not the technical definition. Somebody go ahead, you can go and blab that in the comments for yourself. And I'll still send you my 10 favorite ARC option strategy stocks. But the way I like to look at it is probability, right? So if the 10s are 0.20, about 20% chance that Ford will, on the 8th of August, that it will be trading at $10 and you will get assigned and have to buy your 100 shares, and about an 80% chance of it not happening and it's staying above 10 and you will not get assigned, right? But that's personally like when I'm doing these like cheap wheel strategy stocks, like I'm trying to I'm a little bit more aggressive, right? I'm a little bit more aggressive for sure. So I'd be going like probably at this delta right here, the 0.34s, and collecting about $29 in premium. So let's take a look at what kind of return on our collateral that we're getting. Obviously, these will be looking different on your screen. So what do we have? The 10.5s. Let's see what kind of return we're getting here. Again, almost close to a 3% return on our collateral here. So these setups are still really, really nice. You can see it's because we have just such an insane run up recently. And then the last stock that I'm always paying attention to, as you guys know, is American Airlines. American Airlines and Ford are two of my favorite, quote unquote, cheap wheel strategy stocks that I'm always monitoring. I'm always paying attention to. And we're seeing a lot across the board with these kind of cheaper stocks, an extremely tight Bollinger Band spread, right? The top being at 12, bottom being at 10.50, right? There's not much wiggle room, but I do like the fact that American Airlines is still trading below its 2 and 300-day moving averages. Let's go take a look at what kind of premiums we're actually going to be collecting from American Airlines at the time of this recording. I'm going to click sell put. Let's go out to that same expiration date and see what we're getting here. So a little bit less, right? So 40, like if we look at the 10.5s here for simplicity at 0.31, that's right. Basically where I'm trying to be at max wise, but I basically play into 0.20 to 0.30 delta range. $41, same amount of collateral wrapped up. Oh, so actually that's actually a lot better. Wow, these are really good premiums happening right now across the board here, for these guys. These are really, really good premiums that are coming in. Let's look at the 10s, even the 27, even the 10s that are of a 0.22 delta are really, really nice. I might stay tuned. I might be opening some of these positions, but that'll probably be the video for tomorrow or the following day. Where I have I show the live portfolio that I put $5,000 into, and we're going to see what we can do. We're going to see how long we can survive before we light it completely on fire. Guys, if you are interested in learning more about setting up an option selling portfolio for yourself and joining an amazing group of individuals that are all financially stable and a non-toxic environment, make sure to click the first link in the description of today's video. You're going to learn about our Option Seller School, which is an absolutely amazing community of individuals that do this day in and day out, trade ideas with one another. Absolutely nothing held back. If you want to learn more about that, click the first link in the description of today's video. Guys, remember, sell options, collect premiums, repeat. I'll see y'all tomorrow.